months where we become, staples and anchors in the industry. But, to really hit the velocity that I want to hit, we have to develop some sort of evergreen model where people are purchasing our products year round.
Got it. Let's I want to go to Dow Jones, and then I know the Nifty folks have got to jump, and we have to jump shortly after that. So we'll finish our hands here. We'll go Dow Jones, EMLO, and then we're probably going to wrap from there because I got to get running as well. But Dow, go ahead and get in here.
Yeah, real quick, and I hate to bring it back to this, but just over everything, all of this as a holder's perspective came as a big surprise to me because Luca's done nothing but champion us as Pudgy Penguins. He's personally DM'd me, cold called me, just out of nowhere because he appreciated my actions for the brand. I just don't see nefarious actors kind of doing that. So just as a holder's perspective, they allow you with the gifts, championing yourself as the brand. They give you all of the brand Bible tools to kind of keep everything in line with their overall idea for the brand. So again, all of these actions that I see as a holder, it's just so far from what this quote unquote expose kind of came out to be. So just as a holder, I can't tell you how far from those words my true feelings as a Penguin are. So, the proof is in the pudding for me. I took a step back personally and I kind of evaluated that whole situation of it. So I just wanted to give Luca some credit on that at the end of the day, the actions you have shown towards holders of Penguins have kind of solidified my thoughts.
Love to hear it, Dow. Let's go to EMLO real quick, and then we will wrap probably from there. EMLO, go ahead and get in here. Thanks for your patience. You've been up here for 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing to note is that, I confronted Luca about this, 3 months ago with regards to CNK World and a few of his other past projects within Web3. And, this is not something he's been hiding at all. I ultimately moved past it because I think that Luca has brought a net positive to the space. He's been building in public, especially over the past year and a half. And I'm not defending Luca on any regards. I don't hold any Pudgy Penguins, but I do think that what he's built with regards to the community is very commendable. And I think that the Pudgy Penguins community is definitely one of the strongest communities that we have in NFTs. And I think that it's important that regardless of what happens with Luca, I think that the Pudgy Penguins community is going to stay strong. I think also that the way OK Hotshot did this was ridiculous. On the spaces the other day, he was muting Luca, he was muting other people. It was actually not a balanced conversation at all. And if you're gonna be reporting, you need to actually be ethical with how you report. And I don't think that OK Hotshot was doing it correctly.
So the takeaway I have from the 2 questions so far is nobody cares about the business of this, Luca, and everybody just cares about the drama associated with someone outing you for nefarious business actions. So moving forward, when we do spaces, that's all we're going to focus on. And I want to apologize in advance for just for the next week, us just saying this guy's just a complete fucking scammer. Okay, so that's where we're headed with our spaces. I think Captain and Steve are way more legitimate actors in this space. And so they'll probably do a more measured approach to it.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's to your point. This is one of those things where it's our goal here, though, is to to your point. I mean, our goal here is to, bring people on stage, let them sort of answer from their perspective in a way that isn't sort of attacking. I think EMLO, you kind of hit on it very strongly there, which is I did listen to that space, and it's hard when you're listening to people who are. We talked about it earlier. They're debating how people are using the fucking word semantics for 10 minutes. And we're just this is not getting us anywhere towards what was said and written. To your point, I asked, did he reach out to Luca beforehand? He did not. So that's not exactly the best practice. But all that considered, appreciate Luca's time this morning. Really appreciate the Nifty folks for showing up. And again, I generally spend, I wrote a 200-page co-authored a 200-page book on NFT business, which comes out in January. So to me, the business aspect is the most interesting part to me, and I like having those conversations. So I'm really glad they came on and brought some of that flavor today because that part is extremely interesting to me. That said, I want to thank everyone for coming by this morning. I know we're a little past the 10:30 hour here, and we usually wrap. This was fucking fun, man. This was so fun to have the Nifty folks run through.
Yeah, this was a ton of fun, Steven. And look, this is Pio. I just want to like add one thing in here. This isn't even it's applicable here, but it might sound bad, but just actually think about it for a second, right? We've seen this in the NFT space so many times at this point. The fact, and I think I might have a little echo, but bear with me if you can hear what I'm saying. I don't know how bad the echo is.
Nothing on our end, nothing on my end.
Okay, cool. But what I was going to say is the way that NFTs are set up, where somebody will basically buy this NFT, the number one thing that the NFT holder cares about is the price going up. Like, obviously, you're kidding yourself if you think that there's anything else. It's literally just price, right? That, like, if you're just going to be brutal about it, if you're going to go no BS, strip it all the way down, it's, questions are usually, if someone asks a question about an NFT project, the question is usually, when is the price going to go up, even if they use different language, right? The thing that it creates is anything like if the founder of an NFT collection, and I won't even name names of other collections, but obviously we've seen this in the past, anything short of literally like murdering someone or some heinous crime will ultimately not impact the project long term because the holders are invested in having the NFTs and they want the price to go up. So obviously that is not comparable to what we're talking about here. That's what I was saying. You have to kind of interpret what I'm saying. But the point is, we've already seen this before. Look at Azuki, right? No matter what, the holders are this like perma champion of the project, and that moat is really, really strong. By the same token, I think the holders would trade the founder's life for 1,000x. I literally think they would if they could press a button and be like, yeah, you get 1,000x in exchange for the founder's life. I know Luka ain't ever going to say that publicly, but I just every once in a while really like to kind of put that brutal reality out there for people to understand, because I think it helps frame up some of the stuff that we're talking about. Having said that, I really enjoyed this conversation. I love the deep dives on business. I saw comments that were like, what are we talking about here? My response was, we're talking about the ins and outs of the business that Luka's running, which every NFT project, if it's going to actually exist in 4 years, has to be a business. So in my opinion, the thing that Luka did best is Luka went and he said, he's making a business, crazy idea, right? Because before this, and I've said this on our show,
agree.
So forgive me if I'm repeating myself, but before this, it was bad to build a business because that meant that the NFT holders were customers, and that's bad, right? But what Luka did, the big breakthrough in my mind, is Luka's like, I'm building a business, and here's why that's good. And the audience actually accepted it, right? The broad NFT audience and the people that hold Pudgy Penguins accepted it. And for me, that's like this watershed moment where it's like, yes, these things have to be a business. Luka figured out how to communicate that properly. Home run in my book. So my hat is tipped to Luka on that. Mentioned that on the show before. But yeah, every once in a while, I just try to be brutal about the realities of this industry and just put things into perspective, because I do think a lot of BS gets flung around, not only by founders, but by the holders. The holders act like they want something. At the end of the day, they want the price to go up. That's the reality of it, right? So I just like to be real about it and put things in perspective for people, because I don't hear that talked about a lot. Love your show, by the way, Steve. I think your presence as a host is phenomenal. Same to you, Captain. And I've said that for a long time. Really appreciate you sharing the stage with us today.
Appreciate all of you.
Yeah, and appreciate the hell out of both of you for jumping through and all of y'all jumping through in the cross show. Like I said, ton of fun. Agree with you. It's funny, like, for so often we would have people on the stage who would say, what does this sale in Walmart do for the holders? And the people who were never saying that were the holders, right? Like they kind of had this perspective. It was always someone who wasn't holding who would be asking those questions. So your point about driving that business, and again, they totally aligned with you on the point where when you have a financial investment in something and you have an identity tied to something, it's going to change how you react to it. I make the analogy where it's like, if you rent a house, you're not going to upgrade the kitchen. If you buy a house, you want to enjoy that kitchen and you want to increase the value of it. And people are going to continue to push for their NFT brands to be really good because they have an investment in both financially and emotionally from an identity and a community perspective. So I think you're spot on with that. And, agree with you. Like, we need to see real businesses being built. It's the question we constantly ask. Businesses, product market fit. And I see when you look at it, it is a classic sales funnel with Pudgy, where they started with, Von Frunten's been up on the stage and talked about, look, top funnel, they did the awareness with sort of the gifts, things like that, the social building. Then they worked their way down to consideration, ultimately purchase and loyalty. And there's been it's been really interesting to watch being built in public. So I agree with you on that. I'm glad that we got to discuss, and I'll look forward to Luka's article, which kind of addresses everything that was brought up over the weekend. People can make their own decisions, but I am glad that we got down a business conversation as well, and that y'all crashed through, because it's always fun, and appreciate everybody out there who's listening in. But I guess that said, we'll let everyone else go off to our day. I know we're a little over for both of us, but this is really fucking fun. Respect the hell out of Nick Pio and that whole team over at the Nifty. They're just they do a great job at Nifty Portal. They really do, and it's something I used to listen to before I ever did this show. I'd walk my dog. I'd listen to the show very regularly. So, appreciate y'all. Always good having the folks.
Yeah, shout out Nick and Pio.
Yeah, appreciate it. With that said, we'll let everybody sail off.
All right, so we just wrapped that. Well, that was a fun experience to combine those stages. Appreciate everybody joining. Is there anything else we want to wrap with?
I think we've said.
I think
we're
good
today, amigo. I think we're good today. I want to well, real quick. Luca's coming back, and this is just us and Luca right now. Luca, if there's obviously you've already heard from Nick, and Nick is what I always tell people. People ask me how Nick is doing when they haven't talked to me in a little while, and my response is always Nick is Nick. And I've never not had the person that I say that to understand exactly what I was talking about, which I love. But Luca, I'm personally irked that you didn't come on video, because I went out of my way to be like, yo, you got to come on video. You said you were video ready. I was like, I can't wait. So that is one thing that I'm irked about, buddy.
I was video ready, and then I just got caught in the title. I had to hop in there, and so I deeply apologize. I was in the middle of shaving my mustache for you, so I was giving it my best shot.
Well, next time. Thank you for joining the show. I know it's probably been a wild few days. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, and appreciate you sharing these numbers. I've been dying to understand the business side of this, and would love to discuss that even more as you progress with it. So feel free to come back, and we can discuss some of those things.
I have every intention of coming back when this thing is an unequivocal success, and we're moving into bigger and broader territory. So I appreciate you guys for having me on. And Nick, thanks for some of that advice. I definitely might need to pick your brain on the side. And it seems
Dude,
like you have a better
I'm down to
finger on the
help.
pulse
I've
of
been
this
around
than
for
me.
a long time.
He's old, Luca.
I'm 41 years old, dude. So I've been in the media space for a long time. So feel free to reach out anytime.
Appreciate you, boss, and I appreciate you guys for having me on.
Of course, you can't say Luca Nets is not confident, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, that's our show today. Wild ride today. Didn't expect it to play out that way. Big props to Nick for carrying the lion's share of the show this morning. Normally, I would be mentally drained coming out of something like this, but I'm feeling vibrant. I didn't have to really do anything. I was just pressing buttons on a mixer. I'm sure Nick is tired, so he's going to have to take a nap because he's old. Anyway,
I'm good, dude.
he's charged up. He was doing some egg-based cocaine during the show. I kind of saw it. Yeah, people were commenting on his boiled eggs. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if it's your first time listening, which actually on a day like today, it may be some of your first time listening. We do this show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, right here on Twitter Spaces. Video feed is available on YouTube. We also do a video stream to Twitter. Also available on Apple and Spotify podcasts if you want to listen to this mobilely, and if you like that user interface better. Also, if you want to share the show with somebody outside of the Twitter bubble, then Apple and Spotify podcast is a great way to do it. Anyway, we will be back tomorrow. We appreciate every
I've made 6 figures with Kajabi. This is my favorite tool as a content creator.
That's going to do it for Nick and Pios.
It's also that ETH taking a bigger hit is mostly due to also like the Ethereum Foundation selling more ETH. I feel like it's become a meme, right? Like Foundation selling the Pico top, and every time it kind of dumps on that. Is that one of the reasons why?
I mean, it probably has. Oh, apparently I sound low on the YouTube feed, but good on Spaces, by the
Not
way.
for
so,
me.
Um,
Not for me. Maybe turn up a couple notches again. I don't know.
but apparently it's good on Spaces, so I don't know
Oh.
why.
I don't know. No idea what does that.
Yeah, I'll turn it up a bit. But
Yeah.
what was I gonna say? Oh,
Foundation.
Look, the ETH Foundation has to sell. The ETH Foundation has costs, right? It probably has to pay its devs. It has to pay salaries. It probably has to pay like expenses. So
Yeah.
every so often they have to sell because some of the costs IRL aren't in ETH, right? Like wherever if they have premises, they can't pay their rent in ETH. So I don't know, like if that's the reason.
I mean,
why
how
they're
much
selling.
ETH did they sell in the bull market at the Pico top, right? Like, what was it? Like 40 million.
I know. Who knows if that's the reason why they're selling, and maybe they're just managing their their like assets and liabilities, etc. But I don't think the ETH Foundation is trying to trade the market, right? That's not really their mandate. The ETH Foundation is like, let's just manage our ETH balance, and when it is high, we should sell some because we'll
It's a
have
business.
fiat costs, and when it is low, I don't think they ever buy.
People forget ETH Foundation's a business.
Um,
That's like probably the punchline of this morning's space is it's a business, whether if it's an NFT project turned into a business like Pudgy Penguins or a whole ass blockchain. It's a business.
Obviously, Davis said it again.
It's got to be run like a business.
So good. Yeah, man. Listen, that was the one. That was Sculpt Scan went viral. Ethereum Foundation has just sold 1,700 ETH, 2.76 mil. So it's not a big dump, right? It's not a big dump, but it's just every time it's just a little funny when you see that. Ovi and I were running speculation earlier on, hyper speculating. What if one day Vitalik decides just to call it? He's like, all right, I'm gonna go on a boat. Party with models, and I'm done. I ran your coin up to $500 billion, $500 billion. What was it? What was the all-time high for ETH? Like market cap, like 400 billion, right? Something like that.
Must be more than that. Must be $500 billion because the price is probably 3x what it is now, and we're at 200 million market cap. So yeah, like probably 500 billion. I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So he was like, listen, I ran your token up to $500 billion already. I'm out. I'm doing my thing. So obviously it's not going to happen, y'all. And no, don't want to cause panic or FUD or whatnot. But that is still what happened. It's on hold for now.
It's on hold,
yeah. We'll just call it a hold, right? I don't want to call it Rectober. As much as I like Rec Guy in your brand, I really don't want to call it Rectober because it's not good for me.
It's Rectober. It's the month of being wrecked. We have the Rec show next week as well. Like, it's for anyone in London, it's full Rectober.
On the 18th. Boom. Hell yeah.
Wednesday the 18th. Yeah, tickets are now available to claim. So if you have a Rec Guy or a Tad or any of my art, just go ahead and claim tickets. They're on the if you go to the Rect Guy Twitter account, it's on the pinned tweet.
Yeah, perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. Yeah, make sure you all go through the legitimate sites and whatnot, but it's on the official Rect Guy NFT Twitter. I see it right there. Wednesday, October 18th at the box. Question for you: is it gonna be the box PG or the box all out?
It's gonna be the box.
Ah!
It's just gonna be the box. That's all I can say.
It's just gonna be the box. Oh, damn it! I'm missing this one. Shit. It sucks. Oh man, my last time with you was the PG version. Now this time they're going all out when I can't be here. Damn it! All right, what's gonna be the first Rec Guy event that I'm not at? So you guys enjoy that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And if you're a holder of theirs, definitely, guys, check it out. It's worth it. Trust me, it's definitely worth it. Anyways, topic number 2 that we have for you all today. Luka Nets facing accusations over the weekend. So there was a obviously a thread/article that was written by NFT Herder, aka Hotshot. I just can't with this photo, man. I think it's a photo Luca Nets' like holders did with the
I'm
four with the
fucking
pudgy
weak,
penguins.
bro.
It's great Photoshop skills. So
No fucking
you know,
shot.
and basically the allegations, you know, were wide, you know, widespread. So about his past with Shopify stores, and you know, we knew that he ran Shopify stores and was an e-com business, by the way, before. That's nothing new. At least that's when I met him back then. And then from NFT alleged, of course, rug pulls, whatnot, to get to the point of acquiring the Pudgy Penguins, yada yada yada. And that came out obviously at a time where like the only
So
conversation
people call
that's happened
rug
on
pulls
timelines
when
Pudgy
you
Penguins
worked on
over
a
the
project
Walmart and
or
looking at
that
is
didn't
obviously doing
succeed,
around,
or
you know,
you split
going
ways with a
around all of
project.
this. So
And
there's listen,
people call that a
I
rug
read the
pull.
article the
It's
second
crazy
it came
to me.
out. I think like we picked up on it like right away, and I remember sending it to
Failed
the friends, being
business.
like, yo, like, you know, check this out. And obviously went through it myself a little bit. However, I completely tuned out this weekend. Not even gonna hide it. I didn't really listen to like, I know there was this, and also being in Europe, by the way, OV is fantastic. Because I mean, I guess in the bear market, because you don't get all the bullshit that's happening at night over there, like you're just sleeping. So you wake up and the whole house is on fire, and like, what the hell is going on around here? However, in the bull market, you miss out on everything. But in this bear market, I woke up on Saturday morning, moisturized, in my lane, and everything. And obviously, I saw tweets from Thread Guy saying, "Look at it, get off that stage," blah blah blah. So I'm assuming that a Twitter Spaces, you know, went crazy. And I heard though
Moisturized.
from friends of mine that, you know, it's true that he was getting cut off a lot, and they were not really letting him speak and kind of like letting him make counterpoints. So if you're gonna call someone out, by the way, I've been in that hot seat multiple times myself. At least let him speak and hear him out, right? And let them kind of do their thing. But it seems as such like, you know, it's I just heard him on Nifty Portal. He was just on, so I don't really want to go over it forever. But I guess Ovi, like, did you follow a bit? I feel like you're also tuned out. I feel like you, me, and Mando kind of been tuning out of those things lately. I haven't looked more. Is this like a Zaga 2.0 moment, or is that just like a whatever? Like you know, it's.
I read through the post and the Medium article. I think the allegations are like he was involved with 2 or 3 projects that had rug pulled, and he got paid from them. I think Luca's counterpoint is that, well, he had a side hustle or a business before that. That's kind of like, and he sold services to these accounts, and then he was onboarded as an advisor. So he was never really like a founder or part of the project. And you know, they ended up maybe some of them ended up rugging, maybe they're not rugged or whatever. I don't really know, but I think it's a stretch to say he is involved in rug pulls. I think it's quite clear that he sold expertise or knowledge or services in an industry or a business that he was involved
Services, dude. Some people sold mod services, dev services. That's what people don't understand. This is the industry, and then you want to have these like sort of called on-chain sleuths that think they've figured out how to read a blockchain, and then it's crazy.
Okay, so you were just selling ads.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe he got paid in kind rather than like ETH up front. So and that's why he's getting large amounts of ETH. But there's nothing wrong with it. Like I know it. Like I know someone might feel like, oh, that's kind of shit because I bought this project and then it went to zero and Luca got paid off it. But he wasn't the founder. He wasn't the creator of the project. He wasn't like doing anything, right? He was just. They just bought ads off him and paid him in ETH in a perfectly legitimate business. And it's not on him to be like, oh, I'm only going to sell ads to, I'm going to make an assessment as to whether this project's going to rug or not, and like only sell ads to the one because I'm worried about my future reputation. Like, yeah, at the end of the day, you're going to have clients that go south, and maybe this is what happens. So
that's a fair take. I mean, you still do due diligence, and I mean, I think there's ways to go about it with disclaimers and stuff, but I mean,
kind of shows you what he was
too late now.
Since he did become a founder of a project, Pudgy Penguins, he's done right by them every step of the way. So
I can agree with that. Ever since he became head of Pudgy Penguins.
Listen, again, people
he
saying,
hasn't let
and
down,
again,
so.
I'm just reporting here, but people saying the space was one-sided and he was barely given a chance to speak. Obviously, like, if I have to like display my bias here, that I mean, my holdings of 2 Pudgy Penguins is not really significant to my to my life. So it's like I don't really have a bias when it comes to any holdings. And of course, Luca's a friend, and so it seems like I don't know. I think the whole call out didn't go as planned, and that's it. And then of course, I think it was Luca, right? Wrote a thread that did a lot of. I read that thread and I was like, okay, that's kind of when I tuned out. Ovi, it's like I read Luca's thread, and I was like, okay, cool, like, that's it, right? So that's it, he sold marketing services, and did it all go as planned, and that's it. There's some people that I've hosted that you think they're good people, and then in the end turns out they're not good people. Like, it doesn't mean you freaking rug the whole thing, right? So I get what you're saying, but it seems like the timeline heavily supported Luca, and that's about it. Listen, if you want to hear from Luca himself, just go to Nifty Portal's show this morning, and I'm pretty sure he was on there just now. Just obviously it's finished now, but he was on there, and he was talking about that. I'm failing to find the thread. There it is. So he says, I've been in the entrepreneurship arena. I'm in the arena. I love that quote now. But he says, I've been in the entrepreneurship arena for 8 years now, and it's been a beautiful ride with a ton of trials and tribulations. Below is a thread on how I got there. So I'm not gonna read the whole thing for you all. You guys can all go and read it yourself if you want to. But that's what it is. And he gave his points, and I think that he gave his points very openly. And that's it. That's it. And then he sold ads, and not everything turned out to go his way, the way that he probably wished for, and that's it. But all I know is that his current position at Pudgy Penguins, he's doing well, and I do think that he is a value add to the NFT space, which is why I support him, personally speaking, of course, and my own opinions, not the opinions of Rug Radio, yada yada yada, all these disclaimers, but I support him, and until we see something actually like a factual thing that's like, oh, he rugged the project himself, then that's it. And I invite people to always, make their own research. Don't just even also just listen to Ovi and I like assume that we're right either. Just go and read yourself as well, from both sides. But yeah, that was the thing of the weekend, I guess. Ovi, it's funny because when it was happening live, I was like, when is the space gonna pop? I was texting the groups. I'm like, surely there's gonna be a Twitter Spaces about this within the next 5 minutes. And you're in a bear market when it took like 8 hours for Twitter Spaces to pop out about the allegations and whatnot. Because in the bull market, like, there would have been like 17 spaces going off at the same time. You remember how crazy the bull market was with all these things, the allegations and the fights and the truth and the other side of the story. Bang, bang. So that's what would have happened. But that is not what happened this time around. So you're deep in a bear market when that happens. Just quickly, before I go on to the next topic, I see Mando's on stage with us. Mando, GM, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yo, yo, yo! How are you feeling, Mando? We missed you on Friday.
Good. Just got off a flight. Back in Lisbon, 30 degrees in Lisbon. I feel it's good to be back.
It's 30 degrees here too, by the way. We're like 25.
30 degrees are too hot.
30 degrees
that's like on the scale of too hot.
You're really finding any excuse to hate on Portugal. You really have like no mercy, bro. Oh, it's too hot. What? Dude, the place you live at is raining unless I'm here. So I bring the sun to London. I told you, Mando was laughing. I say, I bring the sunshine to London. Every time I'm in London, it's sunny. Dude, I'm telling you, bro, it's just been beautiful every single day. It was only cold the day we went golfing, but even that was like whatever, right? Anyways, Mando, what's your thoughts here? Do you have any additional thoughts? I think we covered it pretty well, but did you have anything to add on this Lucas situation of the weekend, or can we just move over it?
I guess I only saw the article. I have to admit that when I read the article, I didn't read well. And then I saw his response, but it didn't necessarily address what was in the article, and I saw nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, but then the floor price didn't move, and apparently did very well in the space and explained himself. I hadn't seen the explanation, so if people believe the explanations, then I think that's fair. Like I think he's a net positive for the NFT space for sure. He's done a very, very good job with Pudgy Penguins. I mean, for someone who only saw the start and his response, I thought it shows you how good his reputation is in the space, because if that had been somebody else, I think it could have gone a lot worse. Like I've seen, like, you know how things can get sensationalized very, very quickly. I would say 90% of what I saw was like people being like downplaying it rather than, I know, past times this has happened, it's like, oh my god, we're going to pile in. So I think that goes to show how much people like him and what a positive he's been for the space. But I read it, and I'll be honest, I didn't read well. So
yeah, it doesn't read well at first. I have to go back and listen. I was tuning in, but then they were talking Walmart. But I'll tap back into the Nick and Peel show from earlier today and listen back at it. Maybe we can update people tomorrow. But that's a good read. You know, the reputation preceded, and he's doing well. It's funny, like we can't have nice things. Like every time someone's doing well and something's popping, like it's like we try to like tear it apart. Look, I'm not throwing shots either at the people who wrote the article and that came at him with the thread and stuff. Look, you do what you want to do. It's your platform. You know, whatever. But you know, it's just like it's every time someone's doing good, it's like there's got to be something behind it. If you look into the past, and that I don't want to excuse anything either, but if you look into the past, it's not just Web3. Like in the past of everyone, there's gonna be something happening at some point. It's like Web2. Like every successful person, you can go Elon. I'm sure Elon's at some point somewhere did something that maybe doesn't fit within the moral compass or the ethical compass of somebody in the space. You know, it won't work out. So, you know, anyway, so that's kind of the read. We'll listen and update you all another time. And, you know, I've been saying this for 2 weeks, but we were meant to have Luca. It was tough again last week. It was tough the week before. But maybe this week he comes and maybe we give him that 10, 15 minutes to talk about this later this week. But maybe not, because maybe we're over it. Anyways, moving on. Topic number 3 of the day. I'm sorry. I'm laughing at my own titles today. I was like looking at probably boring topic by now, but producer told us to cover it. And next topic, DeGod's reset. Again, amazing social marketing plan or simply poor project management. You know, I woke up this morning, I opened Twitter. I was personally looking towards Twitter and X to see what's happening, conflict on the other side of the world, and trying to inform myself and dodge, you know, propaganda bullets and fake news bullets at the same time. But I did stumble upon Frank's tweet about the reset and how they're going back to the first version. So they're calling it the comeback chapter 1. In the midst of chaos, there is opportunity. Sun Tzu. So he says, we just reset all the DeGods back to season 1. Season 1 of DeGods symbolizes our roots. Back when we had something before the drama, before we took things so seriously, we made fun of ourselves because we didn't care. We didn't care because we were just having fun. So I'm going to share on the screen this kind of a new roadmap. So it seems like they're making another change. Listen, I always say it, you know, I like Frank. I like Kevin. You know, I like people who try. So I'll always stand by that. But when Danny earlier, I was chatting with him. He said, I've seen the DeGods thing. I was like, yeah, again. And I'm kind of over it. So I'm just going to say here on the record, I'm also over it. Like I don't think it's major news. Like there's obviously like way worse things happening on the other side of the world right now. Maybe that's why I'm feeling this way right now. But a lot of things happening here, like I'm just like, you know, there's way worse things going on. And actually I was walking this morning. It's like, I'm really lucky.
Yeah, what he needs.
Right now. That's how I feel. That's my mood today. I'm like, I'm just lucky.
What Frank needs is product, dude, or service. Like he needs to deliver a product or
again,
service.
A beautiful looking graphic. It's cool. The branding's great. They're going back. They want to unify. They want to clarify. It says alongside the launch of Redacted, every single concern with DeGods, Utes, points, and art updates, IP, and DeGods. And apparently Utes and DeGods are becoming one, blah, blah, blah. And again, just couldn't hold off but to hype something. It says the launch of something. So hyping a launch while announcing a comeback and a reset. So that's kind of my read of it. I have a feeling before even asking Ovi how he feels about it, I know how you feel about it. You probably don't give a fuck, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's just more of the same, isn't it? I just think it's more of the same. I think this looks cool. Like, I think the graphic design here is amazing.
It always does.
I think the branding and all that stuff is really cool. I think they just
more of the same.
It's now becoming clearer and clearer that like that stuff worked at the beginning, but if you don't have any substance behind what you're putting out there, you eventually get found out. And people, I think, need substance now. This strategy works in a bull market when you have prices going up, but in a bear market when people are finding any reason to sell their NFTs, if you're not producing something of substance like Pudgy Penguins are, then people are just going to sell. And I think this is the problem. It's like, what does this release say? It says absolutely nothing. It says we're going to reset. Well, what are you resetting? Like, what did
you need a product, dude? Substance, delivery, service.
Season 1, 2, and 3 of DeGods, fine. Like, that's a useful feature, I guess, but it's not like something to to rave about, and then it has like this, oh, I'm working on Redacted. Well, you know, they've just made the same mistake again there of trying to hype something up, but I think people aren't really buying it now. But you just like left yourself something there to potentially disappoint on, which is what the mistake they made last time. So I hope I'm wrong again. Like, I think I like Frank, and I think he has the right intentions, and I think he's achieved some cool stuff in the space. But I just think they're, you know, I just don't really know what they're doing. And I think
the video's great, right? Like all their stuff. Like I like their shit.
It's a great, it's a great hype video. And you know, if this was a meme coin, it would kind of be cool. Like it's like, yeah, like you're getting like people hyped up. But
I think they should just make a meme coin.
They should just have a meme coin, and that would be fine. I think the problem is there's maybe an imbalance in expectations again, and I think DeGods holders are expecting something. Like it is kind of pitched like this big to be this big brand kind of thing. We're going to take on Yuga and all this stuff, and there's so much hyping of it going on, so people you know, are getting excited and have these expectations, and I think that's the problem. Like, you know, if people didn't have those expectations and this was just like a meme project and just like sort of like an internet presence, then that would work. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think this is a very good read. Mando, what do you think here? Feeling it's going to be also similar. The video is great. By the way, when you hear me laugh, it's not I'm thinking of what Ovi's saying. I think the video is hilarious. Even though I'm not listening with sound, but
every single thing they put out, videos, content, everything is
branding. They're really good at that. They're very good at that.
It's not enough. Unless you're a meme coin, it's not enough.
Yeah. What do you think, Mando?
Yeah, look, I don't really need to add anything. I think I was just gave a good. But he's hit the nail on the head. I'll be interested to see if the community buy into it. I think Frank's an incredible community manager, and part of being owning an NFT of a profile picture collection is just community management and basically like directing the vibes, so to speak. He does an incredible job of that. But for it to be worth, let's say 3-4 ETH, I think people are now. It's not even that they maybe they would always expect it, but I just think they've gone down the route of building stuff up, like OSF says, and that's. I mean, the whole idea that you need to renew it. Where are we going to be in like 5 years or 10 years? Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be like, oh, we're going to renew it again in 5 or 10 years. It just feels a bit like, I don't know. You want to be able to feel comfortable that it rests, it has value without this kind of need
to extract more value or liquidity.
Everything, because that to me, if I'm thinking right, how is this going to be in like a few years? It kind of changes it slightly. So,
yeah, that's it. But they are basically one of the best teams when it comes to branding and social platform stuff. But that's it will take more. Actually, just one time I actually kind of. I can't say it on the record. The Beanie had a great take today. It's you know, I don't agree with all Beanie's takes. Sometimes we do talk about them privately, but he said something about urging founders, and I'll just read it. He said, if NFT project founders want to avoid the inevitable erosion of their collection values to zero, they must take immediate action to provide utility, which is literally what you're saying, Ovi, right? It's like it has to happen now. And then many collections are simply hanging on in a hope. Give it a year and all will be zero unless the founders provide value. Hosting. Yeah, but let me see. 1 second. My girlfriend's dad can't find Vanessa and he's asking if she's with me and he's worried and I can't and I'm hosting. Just like, I know she's fine. She's probably here, but I gotta check in with Danny.
I love how you do this live on the show.
1 second.
All right. Oh, it's just me now. Wow. I've never been in this situation where it's just me. No Mando, no Farouk. And I wasn't listening to what I wasn't listening to what Farouk was saying the last few seconds, so I was like, oh shit, I don't know what to say now. So do we move on to the next topic or do we still talk about DJs? Stars Arena hacked.
No, we're good. We're good. Okay. Oh, you were gonna, dude. I need to hear it. You introduced the topic. You gotta introduce.
I was full on freaking out there because like I guess Mando's here, but he was on audio, and then you just walked out, and I was like, oh shit, and I wasn't listening to like the last 10 seconds of what you said, so I wasn't sure where you were. But
sorry, I mean, Vanessa's dad called because he's here, and they were just together, and he just texted me, and he doesn't just text me. You feel me? Like he just like I don't really text with him, right? And it's actually my only text with him. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing else. There's nothing else. Vanessa with you, she's not answering. So obviously, you know, I get this text from from your girlfriend's father. Like you gotta kind of answer. Oh my god, and also we're in London. You know, I've been hearing way too many things about London these days. Way too many stories. So just checking. But you know what? Why don't you present the next topic, Ovi? I'm actually curious to hear you presenting a topic.
Yeah, the next topic is that of the big hack we saw in Stars Arena, which is another SocialFi platform on Avalanche. I think that's the first big project on Avalanche that I've heard of in probably well over a year. But I don't know about you guys. Lots of my timeline were all on Stars Arena, etc., etc., etc. It sounds like there was a security flaw, which resulted in a hack and stealing of over $3 million worth of funds. I think, I don't know about you guys, but a lot of my timeline was like, this is a rug. It sounds like it was just an exploit and a hack. We don't really know, but I think there were some accusations of it being more than that. But the last I read, it sounds like they found funding to bridge that gap and they're going to be able to get it going again. But, you know, it's another reminder, to be honest with you, on all these SocialFi platforms, you know, even Friendtech, etc., that you're number one, you're bridging your ETH. If you're Ethereum based, you're bridging your ETH to, you're bridging your token, whatever it is, to another chain, and then in most of these cases, it's a wallet that's generated for you, or it's held by another wallet that someone else has previously had access to, or theoretically can get access to. And if it's something that's predominantly on your phone, then you're also open to SIM swaps as well. And so there's been a lot of SIM swap attacks and hacks on Friendtech. We've had this big exploit now on Stars Arena as well. And it's, you know, these are all risks to having your crypto in like a third party vehicle, if you like. And hackers realize that, you know, exploiters realize that, and they're going for them now. So I would just be very careful on this stuff, you know, like don't be disciplined about how much crypto you're keeping on and within